really start to kick in. So let's kind of reset for everyone who's just joining us. Maybe you're just waking up here in San Antonio. So what is the situation? If you're watching this from San Antonio, no need to worry at all. We have light rain here. There is no flood concern whatsoever, but do know that we'll see light rain here over the next couple of hours. Where the concern lies is up here in Kerr County. Why? Because we saw upwards of 6 inches plus rain overnight. And that all fed into the Guadalupe River. And what we're dealing with now is river flooding. And the river is rising in many spots along the Guadalupe. So we know that it hit major flood stage in Hunt this morning. We believe that it hit major flood stage in Kerrville. And now this is going downstream to Center Point, Comfort, and beyond. So anyone who has plans to go to the Guadalupe River today, you may want to rethink that. Granted that the floodwaters will subside some as this works downstream, but it still can be very dangerous. And it's been a very dangerous situation in and around Hunt, Kerrville, Ingram, and soon to be the Comfort area where we've just seen a massive amount of water come down this river. We have campers, we have cabins, we have RVs along this river, and we know that those have been affected this morning, and that's why we're breaking into Good Morning America right now. We want to make sure everyone stays safe, especially in the city of Kerrville, where we know the water is rising, and there are homes now being evacuated here. So this is a big deal. This is the radar right now. Let me put it into motion for you. And the rain continues. Now it is starting to let up. But that does not mean, and let me be very clear about this, just when the rain ends, that does not mean you're out of the woods, because it takes time for this water to funnel into the river, and there will be water rises again downstream, and that can happen hours after the rain ends. So don't let your guard down just because the rain is letting up. That does not mean the flooding will come to an end. But you see, we've got moderate rain over Kerrville. We've got moderate rain continuing over parts of southern Kerr County, a place that was hit very hard. So we pause this now, and let's look at the 24-hour rainfall totals. And that purple color, that is where we saw the bulk of the rain. And we're talking estimates here of 8 to 10 inches of rain. Not only that, it came down in a pretty quick short period of time. So this is Highway 39 here. You got Hunt, Ingram, and you see how it's kind of a wiggly road. Well, that follows the South Fork of the Guadalupe River. All of that water that fell there is going downstream. It already has made it downstream, and now is working through Kerrville and again Center Point, Comfort, and the like. So that is what we are dealing with. And let me show you the forecast for San Antonio today real quick. I want to make sure people are up to date on that too. Again, no flooding here in San Antonio, but we will have showers this morning. That'll continue for several more hours. The rain chances will still be there this afternoon, but they come down. So, whatever outdoor plans you have today, know that there is still rain in the forecast in San Antonio, but we are out of the woods when it comes to any serious flooding or anything like that. Flood warning has been issued basically from Ingram to Kerrville, to Comfort, to Sisterdale, and then all the way down to Spring Branch just before you get to Canyon Lake. So again, I can't reiterate this enough. Maybe you're going to Guadalupe River State Park. Well, that water eventually will get there. It may take until this afternoon, but that rise will continue to go right down the Guadalupe River. Let's look at the water vapor imagery. And this is another kind of telling feature here. You see these dark blues? That indicates really good tropical moisture. We've had a fetch of moisture not only from the Gulf, but we've had a pretty good connection to the tropics and the Pacific as well. And when we see that, when we get moisture from both bodies of water, we can oftentimes see these really big rain events. And I think that's exactly what's unfolding this morning. And you can see the little spin in the atmosphere too. So we have a little low pressure system here, and it's not moving very much. That's also giving us lift. And that's the exact ingredients that you need to get one of these big rain events to happen. So this is a computer model. By the way, the computer models are not going to handle this very well, but it does show rain maybe letting up a little bit in San Antonio with a few more showers late this afternoon and this evening, and still more rain potentially around Kerrville. So that could, again, continue to increase our issues here. We have the rain chances today. They do taper off this weekend and going into next week. Okay, let's get over to Ernie now with some information on what's going on there in Kerr County. What you got, Ernie?
Yeah, we're just continuing to monitor all of this here. We are trying to confirm some reports that are coming in. And so, again, we're talking about major catastrophic historic flooding in this particular area. Still a very dangerous, evolving situation. So, again, as Justin said, if you're just waking up, It's obviously a holiday, many people off today. This is where it's all unfolding. Again, no issue for people here in San Antonio. This is all in Kerr County. You see Kerrville, and then to the west of that, Ingram and Hunt. So many people, no doubt, with 4th of July plans to be there this weekend. Our Patty Santos is there this morning in Kerr County. Already has delivered some pretty compelling images and videos for us this morning. Let's check in with her again to see, as the sun is coming up, Patty, what are you seeing now?
Hey there, good morning. So we are at the Riverfront RV Park, just visiting with some neighbors here who are getting ready to evacuate. A lot of people that we're seeing are picking up their stuff here from the mobile homes, loading them up and getting out of here. I want to give you a look at the river. This is the river right now. The lady that described this to me said there used to be a huge slope that went down this river, but you can see the water is filled up all the way to the top. Take a look right there. That looks like an RV, probably that came from upstream, but is now just debris hanging on to that tree right now. This is the situation that we're seeing right now, right? A lot of people very concerned about the water continuing to rise right now. We're seeing emergency crews showing up here, trying to evacuate people, making sure that the word gets out if they're not paying attention to their phones. But that is what we're seeing right now. We're going to continue to take a look around. We have been asking emergency responders if they have had any injuries. As of right now, no one is telling us that they've had any injuries. But again, this is a very fluid situation. It's going to be a very long day for crews out here as they assess the damage, as they figure out where relatives are. And we're going to continue to stay with us, with you guys here in Kerr County. We'll send it back to you guys.
All right, thanks so much, Patty. Again, just a reminder, if you guys are just tuning in, we're giving you guys a reset of what we've been covering all morning long. San Antonio, again, you're looking peaceful, but over in Kerr County, we got to take care of our brothers and sisters out there who are dealing with this catastrophic weather event. Okay, so Kerr County Sheriff's Office are, keeping their pages updated. I'm still hitting refresh, but at this time, I'm just going to read this latest post that they have warning their residents, if you guys are in these particular areas that we've been talking about. It says that this flood wave will continue downstream. We're talking about right there on the Guadalupe River in Hunt in western Kerr County. If you are near the water, you need to move to higher ground immediately. Stay clear of the low water crossing and turn around. Don't drown. Again, so many people have been coming in, leaving their comments, kind of sharing their experience and telling us exactly what they are being seen or what they are looking at. We have some people dropping pictures in this comment section. We have a couple commenters coming in. This right here, one of them is kind of concerning for me. Oliver Diana said that my friend and her family are on their rooftop in Hunt waiting for rescue. This is on Kunz Road off of 39. So again, these particular trouble spots that you hear us talking about, try to avoid them at all costs. We do have some pictures that came in as well. This is coming from Jane Trollinger. This particular photo right here that we got about 30 minutes ago or so. This is right here in the Dallas Daughtry Memorial Pavilion area. As you can see, we got flood waters that are very, very high. Just an awful sight to see. I want to go back to that other picture so you could just see how high the water level is coming up on this particular pavilion that they sent in. So again, if you guys have these pictures, these images, anything that you can share with us so that we can share with your neighbors so they can see exactly what to expect should they go out, please send them into our KSAT Connect Facebook or our page, period. Go to Weather Authority app. You'll see KSAT Connect access there. And also you can get up and scan that QR code, send in your photos. And again, do so safely so that we can see exactly what you're seeing as the eyes on the ground. We do have team coverage out and about. Several crews are headed in that direction or are already there, like Patty Santos and our very own Alex Gomez. RJ Marquez has been back here in the studio, kind of tracking it from afar, but giving you guys the up-to-date information needed to know about the road conditions. RJ.
All right, Jeff, and we're getting some up-to-the-minute information, just kind of the severity for our folks out here over by Hunt, Ingram, and of course now getting into the Kerrville area. So I've been showing everyone this map right here. This is basically the Drive Texas map showing that Highway 39 completely flooded basically from Hunt to Ingram and even much further west. But we're going to focus right here because this is brand new. This is going to be FM 1338 that is now being reported as flooded, and that one actually does kind of cross through I-10 for all of our drivers that are going to maybe be out in this part of the hill country over by I-10, kind of comes a little bit further south as we get closer to Nimitz Lake. But again, my concern is really right now going to be parts of the Kerrville area, because as you see right here, as of 7:05 this morning, Kerrville Fire Department evacuating residents. Walmart is being used as a temporary reunification center. Many roads and streets are flooded in town. That's Arcadia Loop, Thompson Drive, Guadalupe Street, Lowry Street, Herzog, and Loops 13. And this is all part of the Rio Robles, the Riverside Drive area. As I kind of give you a look here with our Google Maps, this is this one entire stretch. And the biggest concern for me has also been Highway 16 and Thompson Drive. As you see, kind of Thompson Drive intersects with Highway 16. Right here, the Guadalupe basically runs from north to south in this one entire stretch in the city of Kerrville. So let's take you to our maps right now and kind of show you what we're looking at for our drivers out here. Again, Highway 39 completely shut down. Now we're getting reports that 1338 is also seeing some major flooding. But Kerrville area, basically a lot of folks out here that may be using Bandera, Medina highways as well. Thompson Road, this entire stretch right here where the Guadalupe River again runs from north to south right here and crosses through Bandera, Memorial Boulevard, and Medina Highway. Some major concerns and some major issues with flooding and evacuations at the moment right now. Again, the Kerrville Police Department, Fire Department are on the scene. Several high water situations at this moment. So let's go to Alex Gomez right now, because earlier he was in Center Point, and I believe he was making his way over to Rio Robles RV Park and the River Oaks Apartments area. So Alex, what is the very latest?
Yeah, good morning, RJ. I'm not too sure I'm going to be able to make that part of town just yet. I'm just south of Kerrville right now. This is going to be Riverside Drive right over Veterans Memorial Highway. And what you're looking at right here, this is going to be the Guadalupe River. In fact, I can't even get onto the bridge right now because we do have it looks like a transformer actually just exploded over here, and we have power lines blocking the road. So we do have Kerrville and their power supply. They actually making sure that nobody crosses in this area because these power lines are down, and you can see the pole right here kind of crash into the fence right next to this house right here. So we are seeing damage in this part of Kerrville as well. This is going to be south of Kerrville, again near Riverside Drive, and you can see just the crews just trying to get people off the bridge because you can see how high the water is right here. Again, this is Guadalupe River. It's rushing pretty fast right now, and I'm hearing from residents over here that they're comparing this to the flood of '87 and how they remember it, and they say it's going to get a lot worse. This is just still the early stages of what's happening. And again, if I zoom out, I still see Kerrville PD now in the area, and they're going to be assisting with Kerrville and their power supply companies just keeping people off of the roadways over here. RJ.
Okay, thank you very much. And for that update, Alex, as you can see, is that flooding has basically made its way parts of Kerrville under a severe weather situation at this moment. Again, Arcadia Loop, Thompson Drive, Guadalupe Street, Lowry Street, all seeing some major flooding right now. Loops 13 as well along the Guadalupe River. Okay, so where are we going next? Are we going to go over to Ernie?
Yes, sir. No, thank you very much. Yes. And just a reminder to download the free Weather Authority app right now. You can scan the QR code on the screen right there, and that'll get you the very latest updated information, of course, today and whenever severe weather strikes, wherever that may be. I want to get right back to Patty Santos because, again, as the sun is coming up, and you see the radar, and we'll get to Justin here in just a little bit, but as the sun is coming up, we're getting inundated now with photos, video clips from the overnight hours as people are able to get to areas where there is cell service or there is internet signal. Those things are coming through. This is where it's all unfolding right now. Kerrville and West, Ingram, Hunt. Again, on a typical weekend, plenty of a popular place for campers, but of course on the 4th of July, a completely different story. Patty Santos and her photojournalist Santiago Esparza have been out there for hours, and again, with daylight now, we're getting a much clearer picture of what's happening. So, Patty, let me bring you back in to give us an update on what's happening now.
Hey there, we are still at the Riverfront RV Park, and we are just looking at some of the debris that is washed down. That looks like a boat is there, and this right here on the other side is a like a little campground area that touched the river there. That is pretty damaged right there. And some of the neighbors here telling me that they had the water reach all the way up to here, and we can actually see some of the RVs that are still left behind here. And it looks like there was a little bit of damage to at least some of them here. But you know, what we've been asking is, are you evacuating? And some of the folks that you see walking out here, I think they live in a little bit higher ground in this park, so they're not really thinking that they're going to be moving out. But you could see a little bit of the damage underneath that RV right there. But we did show you earlier the RV that was actually pretty destroyed. And this is a wider look at the river right now. But we have been asking folks, are you evacuating? Some of them say they live in higher ground, they're not evacuating, but they did get the notice from their neighbors knocking on their doors, hey, the water has risen pretty high. But they said they've seen this kind of flooding before, and they're not so concerned right now. But again, it is still raining, so we're going to continue to monitor the situation here. And another question that we're asking is anyone hurt? Has anyone been hurt? Again, very fluid, but the news is it doesn't sound like anyone has been hurt, at least not in the Ingram area where we have been circling around. We're going to continue to drive and bring you more images throughout the morning. We'll send it back to you guys.
Okay, Patty, thank you. And just judging by what I was seeing there with Patty's shot, that tells me that maybe the water is coming down a little bit there in Ingram, which would make sense. However, downstream, again, I can't emphasize this enough, you're going to start to see the water come up. And that probably is still the case there in Kerrville, but they've just issued a flash flood emergency all the way to Comfort now. Meteorologist Sarah Spivey just informing me of that. So that means that water, that wall of water, is headed in the direction of Comfort. And we all remember, or if you were here, you remember the 1987 flood and how devastating that was. This feels pretty reminiscent of that, and the numbers are right there when what we saw in 1987. So just to give you some historical perspective, we know that there are camps, there are RV grounds, there are cabins, all of that right along the Guadalupe. And once you get into major flood stage, which is where we are in Kerrville, and soon to be places like Center Point, where I believe Alex is, and further east, that is where you start to inundate structures right along the river, if not a little bit further out. And you can see things get swept away. Now, I don't know if this is possible, guys, but can we go back to Alex's shot? I want to look at that one more time, if it's possible. It may not be. But you could just see the water and how quickly it was moving along. And the power of water, there you go. The power of, okay, it looks like that is, what is that, a house or a cabin? I know it's a roof of some sort. But wow. So the power of that water, that just goes to show you right there what it can do. And
that house is starting to move.
Yeah, that house is, it's right. That house has either already been picked up, maybe it's a shed. I can't get perspective on just how big it is, but
You can see, look at that wall of water damming up against that bridge there. You can see just how strong that water is, creating a geyser of strength. And just even every now and then you'll see a piece of debris coming down that river, Justin, and that is going so fast. This is the reason why we say turn around, don't drown, especially at night. Thankfully, we've got the light of day to see what's happening now. But look at that water coming very close up to the river's edge there. Yeah. Devastating floodwaters there downstream from where the flood originally started up in Kerr County, closer to Kerrville. Does look like some kind of a structure. Again, yeah, please, Ernie.
I was going to say, so it says Kropf on there, K-R-O-P-F.
Yeah.
That is a manufactured home builder.
Okay.
Okay.
I believe they're out of Indiana, but just so you would kind of be led to believe that this is like a double wide or a manufactured home.
Wow.
Something that's not necessarily anchored into the ground on a foundation, but
presumably,
still heavy enough, and those kind of structures are often frequently there by the river.
Look at that speed, though. And the other thing, Sarah, you pointed out those geysers there. That is hitting the bridge. The debris is hitting the bridge. So that bridge, the infrastructure there could be compromised. That's obviously, you do not want to go across that bridge. And I want to be real sure here, Alex. I want to make sure he is okay. Make sure you give yourself plenty of space there, man, with the way that is looking right now. And you just see piles of debris coming down this river. And man, that, yeah. Okay, yeah, he's panning out to show us that, okay, he's got some space, and that's good. I just want to make sure we're really careful there. And man, just looking at Alex, I don't know if you can hear me, but see if you can zoom in on that bridge a little more. And maybe it's just me, but I feel like that water has actually come up from where we just saw it a second ago. So it is getting really close to topping that bridge, and that's a scary situation. So Alex capturing some incredible images for us here. And again, we are seeing a rooftop there, so we know that this is picking up RVs. We know that this is picking up potentially homes and cabins. And gosh, we just hope everyone is okay. And they got the alerts before these structures started to give way. Okay, actually, can we take Alex? Can he hear us? Can he tell us what he's seeing? Alex, are you there?
Yeah, good morning, Justin.
Yeah, go ahead, man. Tell us what you're seeing there.
Yeah, so this is going to be the Guadalupe River. This is just south of Kerrville right here, and this is going to be on the Veterans Memorial Highway right next to Riverside Drive. So that's where I'm at. That's where I'm parked at right here. I'm right next to, I'm on the street, so I've still got a good meter or two before the water hits me on the side of the road. But yeah, just rushing water from what I've been seeing tires, maybe large dumpsters, trash cans, I mean, you name it. A lot of just green life, trees, branches in the river right now. And like you were mentioning, I spotted that as well. That's definitely some sort of structure over there. It's got a good sized roof on it. So that's definitely something that's been swept away at least, or the water has reached that height over here just south of Kerrville. So this is a lot of rushing water. I'm hearing from the crews out here for Kerrville and their power department. They're saying that this is not even the worst that it's going to get. So I'm going to keep an eye on this area, because I know a little bit further down there's some houses in a neighborhood really close to the river as well. So I'm going to go see how they're doing and if they can be able to get out, or maybe if they're going to close more roads in this side of town of Kerrville.
Okay, Alex, we'll be safe. We really appreciate your reporting there. And gosh, you just see the power of that water right there. That water is moving at such a rate that if your car was anywhere near that, it would get picked up in a heartbeat. So that, please, 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 we can't emphasize this enough. Be so very careful. Anyone, and just don't travel this morning if you don't have to. It's a holiday, So it just, I don't know if I'd do that. That car is going across the bridge. Not a great idea. Okay, so that's the latest. Let's go over to Jaffney. What are you hearing?
Yeah, no, I'm kind of looking throughout social media and getting updates as we speak. Again, we're still trying to get in direct contact with our first responders, a sheriff, possibly some type of point of command contact to kind of maybe get a phone or a Zoom going sooner or later. We're still working on trying to do that. But I do want to go over a couple of things that have come down that have been confirmed due to circumstances out of our control. Unfortunately, Kerrville's 4th on the river is canceled this year. If you're being evacuated and need a place to stay, the Arcadia Live Theater doors are open today if you need a place to shelter. So that is coming in from Kerrville. And also, we also want to go through this City of Kerrville Police Department Facebook page. I was just going through some of their updates and their posts and stuff that are going on at this time. So again, back on 6/32, they did send out a note to anyone living in the Rio Robles RV Park. You need to evacuate, okay? It says that River Oaks Apartments, Water Street, Herzog Loop 13, Guadalupe Street, Lowry, you need to evacuate now. If we move on up right here, this one coming in is our most recent post from them. Again, KBD officers in Kerrville Fire Department evacuating residents. Walmart being used as a temporary reunification center. Many roads and streets are flooding in town. Partial list of Arcadia Loop, most of Thompson Drive, Guadalupe Street, Lowry Street, Herzog, and Loop 13, Rio Robles, Riverside Drive, portions of Broadway. Again, stay out of flooded areas. Do not drive through water. Do not call 911 to ask for updates. This is something that's being released again on the City of Kerrville Police Department Facebook page. I've been trying to look for different, social media posts as far as pictures. If you guys have anything that you are seeing that can be shown or captured in a safe way, send it our way. Again, you guys are our boots on the ground. We got crews out there, but there are things that we can't see that you can see and that your neighbors need to be paying attention to as well. Again, these are all situations that we're following closely online. I do want to talk about this real quick. City of Kerrville, City Hall did just release this saying the severe weather is going to impact your July 4th events in that area. So much needed rain swept through Kerrville overnight. They're kind of releasing details about that, but it says Lewis Hayes Park, the site of today's scheduled 4th on the River event, again, currently flooded. So these are just examples of how serious this is. While the safety is a priority, we're going to continue to track this. And again, get your pictures sent in to KSAT Connect. Download our KSAT Weather Authority app for your up-to-date information and the latest on your forecast. But again, get those pictures sent our way as well. Give us that perspective of what you are seeing. At this time, I think we're going to traffic. Okay, let's go to RJ Marquez. Again, you've been capturing everything from your view as far as what the roadways are looking like.
All right, Jeff. So, yeah, as we've been saying throughout the entire morning, basically Highway 39 completely shut down anywhere from Hunt to Ingram and even much further west. I think it was even stretching all the way to parts of Highway 83 for all of our folks that are familiar with that one stretch of 39 all the way up to parts of 27. That one is new over the past couple of minutes or so. So this is according to Drive Texas. Right now we have flooded roads over by 1338, and that's going to be coming off of I-10 and headed from basically north to south towards Highway 27. So again, a lot of this activity is now starting to move towards the Kerrville area. And as we just saw earlier from Alex's shot, we have got a severe situation out there. This is basically where Alex is. I was trying to figure out where he's at exactly. This is a Veterans Memorial Highway in a little bit outside the Kerrville area, in the Kerrville area, if you just want to call it that. That's going to be intersecting with Riverside Drive right here, right off of the Guadalupe River. So again, Alex giving us some very compelling video out there at the scene. And again, this has just become a very dangerous situation. We're going to go to him in just a little bit as we take you here to our maps. Again, 39, there's not going to be any activity moving through there. Just checked in with TxDOT, and they're continuing to put up barricades along parts of Highway 27, 39. They have their crews out in the hill country right now. A little extra support there for the fire departments and, of course, the sheriff's offices, which are probably, I would assume, pretty overwhelmed at this point. But again, the major spot that I'm also kind of honing in on a little bit is going to be Bandera, Medina, as all this kind of water kind of makes its way a little bit further east on the Guadalupe River. That's going to be Memorial Boulevard. Seeing some slowdowns right here in this one particular stretch. And again, a little bit further as we get east towards parts of Center Point as well. So just a lot of flooded roads out here. Jeff kind of mentioned them. Loop 13, Arcadia, Thompson. Those are these very popular spots around the Kerrville area and also along the Guadalupe River. The Robles RV Park under evacuation, and the River Oaks apartment as well. That's going to be right there where basically Main Street and Thompson Drive kind of intersect along with the Guadalupe. So let's go back to Alex right now because he is down there in this one particular spot. And Alex, what can you tell us? Obviously, we're seeing the rushing waters, just the strength of these waters making their way along the Guadalupe. And we hope that you are being safe, and we hope that everyone out there is being safe as well. Alex?
Yeah, it's just a sight to see, RJ. Yeah, we have people, we have residents out here. The gentleman right in front of me, he has a life jacket. He's carrying it on his hand. I mean, just in case to wherever he's going. I mean, he can probably use it, but this bridge is still open. This is the same one that we were looking at earlier, Veterans Memorial Highway, and you can just see the rushing water. That's the Guadalupe River, all of it just going underneath the bridge. And if I pan the camera, again, this bridge is still going to be open right here, and the structure that we saw was a little bit right over here to your left. You can see all that rushing water and how high the water has risen over to that structure. But here's another part of the bank. This is going to be waterfront drive across the bank from where I was at, and you can just see how high the water has come. These are, again, this looks like it's a neighborhood on this side of the river that looks like the water has already reached at least up to the windows right there. That's one of the structures that I've seen so far. If I pan the camera even more, I mean, you can just see the water having risen again, right to their doorstep, right to just south of their windows right there. So a lot of debris in this water, and I'm going to be in this area again, but this bridge for now is still open. I think just resources over here just south of Kerrville are just stretched. I mean, I think we have multiple crews all over the place to where they haven't shut down this bridge yet, but we still have people just accessing it over here by Riverside Drive, RJ.
And I think, as I said earlier, I know TxDOT, they are getting out extra support there to try and shut down some of these major roadways as we continue to see stuff. And guys, I mean, I'm looking at this video. Obviously, it is a devastating video to watch, reminding me a little bit of the Wimberley floods that we had years ago. And hopefully everyone's staying safe. Guys, back to the desk.
10 years ago, and we want to leave this shot up here. If possible, guys, can we just leave Alex's shot up? Because we have meteorologist Sarah Spivey here, and I think Alex touched on something that is noteworthy, because if you're kind of reading between the lines, listening to scanner traffic and watching social media, the question is, why on earth is this bridge still open? Normally here in San Antonio, we see barricades go up and closures happen, and we know that the flooding happens here in San Antonio, but I think a lot of people are concerned, and we see more cars driving back and forth with RVs and, the trailers on them. Why is this bridge still open?
It's a good question, Ernie, and I think I would like to just reset here as we continue to keep Alex's shot up of the Guadalupe River. Just to give people an idea, again, this is in Kerr County. In San Antonio, we are not expecting this kind of flooding, okay? This kind of flooding will not happen in San Antonio. Right now, we're just getting some light to moderate rain in San Antonio, but there are a lot of people for the 4th of July holiday out on the Guadalupe River, which is why we are taking this coverage here, because this is a dangerous, life-threatening situation on the Guadalupe River. You can see the river has gone into some structures there. It looks like there's even a person there on that fence trying to take pictures and things like that. Again, folks, you got to remember, if you find yourself in this situation, you can always take pictures for insurance purposes later, after the flood waters recede. You don't want to be out there right now putting your life in danger for insurance purposes. So keep that in mind. Another thing to know is that this is the result of about up to 10 inches of rain falling in Kerr County near the East Fork of the Guadalupe River. That is why you're seeing the floodwaters rushing here. Now, there's a lot of plans this weekend along the Guadalupe River for 4th of July. I'm thinking, Ernie, about tubing in New Braunfels. I'm thinking about folks on Canyon Lake. Of course, Guadalupe River flows into Canyon Lake. If you have plans tomorrow, Sunday, you're going to want to check in with authorities in those areas. We, of course, will keep you posted here on KSAT. But again, you can see structures being taken up by the river. It almost looks like a deer blind there, taken through the Guadalupe there. And you really want to be cautious. Even today, again, flooding is not expected in San Antonio, really just some light rain.
Right.
But if you have 4th of July plans, perhaps you're going to go out to Woodlawn Lake, or perhaps you're going to go out to other areas.
Yeah.
I just expect some light to moderate rain through the early afternoon, Ernie. This kind of flooding is really going to be limited along the banks of the Guadalupe River.
Okay.
So the Frio's not flooding, the Comal is not flooding. The Guadalupe River is the river that you want to be paying close attention to. If you had plans to go tubing on the Guadalupe, even tomorrow, they might end up canceling or closing some of those chutes.
Because you might be thinking, well, it's not going to rain tomorrow necessarily, but
all this water has to drain out.
It has to go somewhere, right? We talked about this. Jaffney mentioned a little while ago. So Kerrville has canceled their 4th on the River event for tonight for obvious reasons. The city of Fredericksburg has just canceled their 4th of July parade, and they're saying that the fireworks there may still be on tonight, but their parade has been canceled here today.
That is a great thing that they have done. They've canceled the early part of the thing, but they might keep the firework displays open and available, because we do expect for a large portion of our viewing area that it should be dry for firework displays tonight.
Okay, so that's Alex Gomez's shot. We want to go over to Patty Santos, who has live images right now of emergency crews. Again, these are volunteer fire departments in some cases, very small agencies, getting help from other counties. Patty, so what are you seeing there in front of you right now?
My goodness, this is the same area we were just about an hour ago, and we did see some of the emergency crews start to arrive. It looks like they are trying to do some sort of rescue, but the road right now in front of us is closed as they work to get crews closer to the area, closer to the ground. We were just here, like I said, an hour ago, and things were fine, but it looks like, again, there is some sort of active rescue that is happening right now. We're going to try to get a little closer sir, but we have been talking to people that live near the river, and they are telling me some pretty horrific details. One guy tells me he was outside, he saw the water just rushing. He said it sounded like just a freight train coming in, and then he also heard a woman screaming. She was stuck in her RV. He doesn't know if that woman actually was rescued down the river, but he goes, it happened so fast. She moved along so fast, no one could do anything. All they could do was hear her. And another thing, he said, it was pitch black. That is one of the issues that they had earlier this morning, is they couldn't see things. We are working to get information from Kerr County emergency officials right now. I am hearing that there is a possibility that some children might have been missing from an RV. Again, this is very fluid. Perhaps the children are elsewhere, but this is something that they are going to start getting calls about. This is something that they have been flooded with calls. We've tried to call several numbers this morning. Emergency responders, they're either busy or they can't pick up because of the number of calls that are coming into emergency responders right now. Again, this is a situation that we're seeing right now. It looks like a possibility of some sort of rescue that is happening here in the RV that we were at just a little bit a while ago. People, again, being told to evacuate if they're close to the area. Some people are coming back to their homes right now, and they've had a little bit of flooding. Some of the cars that we've seen washed down the river. This is, just so if you're familiar with this area, this is the Blue Oak RV Park. It's also the HTR Texas Hill Country Campground, and that is where crews are staged right now. I'm going to go work and get some more, a closer look, and see if we can get more details on what exactly is happening. We'll send it back to you guys right now.
Patty, thank you. Good information there. And this is a worst case scenario. I'm going to be honest with you, just the way this is playing out. Because of we had really heavy, just tropical rain fall in a short amount of time. And now on top of that, as you look at the authority radar here, we've got a little bit of a spin in the atmosphere, and look at what's happening. You're starting to see some of this heavier activity now rotate back down towards Kerrville. And this is not moving. And it's not really subsiding either. Now, light rain again here in San Antonio, but this is the problem right here in Kerr County and parts of Gillespie County too. I should mention that they too are seeing some heavy rain, which would explain why Fredericksburg is doing what they're doing with their 4th of July festivities. But let's zoom in here on Kerrville and Comfort. Now the rain has let up, yes, but that does not mean you can let your guard down by any means. In fact, things are getting worse downstream. So Kerrville down the Comfort, and now they've extended this flash flood emergency, this flood warning for the Guadalupe River all the way over to Sisterdale. And that, again, is only going to go downstream even more. So Guadalupe River State Park, I would imagine that I don't want to speak for them, but I would imagine they're going to be monitoring this very closely. It would be a place that a lot of people may go on July 4th, and now you're going to want to rethink that. Honestly, anywhere along Guadalupe River today, you're going to want to rethink that just because of the situation and how it's unfolding right now. Flash flooding is underway in Kerrville. We know that. You've heard that from RJ. You've seen the pictures from Patty. You've seen the pictures from Alex. This is one of those situations where houses are now getting picked up, or at least taking on a ton of water, and we're seeing debris. We don't want any cars, but this is absolutely the kind of flood that can pick up cars very, very quickly. Okay, so let's look at some headlines here. We want to make sure everyone's kind of on the same page when what we're talking about, what's as far as what's going on and what's unfolding here. And it doesn't seem to want to work for me, but that's okay. Headlines, basically, what we want to say is that San Antonio is just fine. No worries here. We don't have any concerns. It's just going to be light rain. And there we go. Sarah's pulling it up for me. But where the concerns lie are with the Guadalupe River flooding in Kerr, Kendall, and Comal counties. Be alert and listen to first responders. Have the emergency warnings on your phone. As I said, San Antonio, morning light rain, no flooding expected. Fireworks, as it stands right now, should be dry. I do think we'll see showers, especially first half of the day. In fact, it's been pretty persistent here, just this light rain. Hopefully we'll get rid of some of that in time for festivities. But if you do have outdoor plans today, I think it's a little more rain than we first anticipated, so just know that. This weekend, spotty rain Saturday and warmer on Sunday. So let's look at the weekend forecast. And again, I know we've got flooding going on, but I just want to make sure everyone's aware of the forecast. 60% chance of rain today. It tapers off a little bit more tomorrow, and more so by Sunday, where we get some hotter and drier weather. And if you just want to throw the 7-day up there, Sarah, we can. There you go. Just kind of get you the main idea here. Rain today, especially. Again, northwest of San Antonio, 30% chance of rain tomorrow. Then it does warm up and it gets drier. Okay, let's get over to Jaffe. She's going to have some important updates for us when it comes to what's going on with the flooding.
Yeah, thanks so much, Justin. Again, we've been doing team coverage all day long, kind of being in touch with people that we need to be in touch with. I do have this latest update. Again, we were in touch with the Kerr County Sheriff's Office dispatch, trying to get in touch with the point of command. And at this time, obviously, they're super busy. They said that this may be a once-in-a-lifetime flood for Kerr County. Got multiple calls for high water rescues and are asking everyone to avoid travel west of Ingram near the Guadalupe River. All low water crossings in Kerr County are extremely hazardous right now. So again, we're going to try to see whenever they get a chance to breathe, to get us a phoner in at least, just to give that in-person perspective of what first responders are seeing. You guys are doing a great job sending in your perspective of what you're seeing as well through our KSAT Connect. This is coming from Hitzfelder Moving, says just got evacuated in comfort at RV Park. This is happening at Center Point. Check out this video right here. We got water moving along here, just flowing, and then this is their RV, obviously, but again, a dangerous situation that no one wants to at all be waking up to this morning. And again, this being a holiday, a lot of people are waking up to scenes like this in this area. We're going to be tracking this. Again, if you guys have any pictures, videos that you can take safely. I know we did have a shot where someone took an image while they were standing at a fence, but water was flowing. That is dangerous. We're not asking you to risk your life for that. We're asking you to get to a point where you can safely take those images and send them our way. Okay, KSAT Connect, send in your photos. Again, make it on air. You can scan that QR code right there, and make sure also you download our Weather Authority app. Let's get over to RJ Marquez. Do you have any updates coming your way?
Yeah, Jeff. So just got some text messages from TxDOT right now. And again, they are just kind of for anyone that is trying to get information on what's going on out here over by Ingram and Hunt. They're asking their folks to kind of update themselves on the drivetexas.org website. So you can go on this website, but checking in with them, FM 394, that's closer to Kerrville right here. That is flooded at the moment. FM 1273, FM 1338 as well flooded. That's this one long stretch, which basically goes from I-10 all the way south to basically Highway 39 and 27. And of course, State Highway 39, that's going to be our biggest closure at the moment due to some major flooding out there as well. So let's go to our maps and kind of see the area that is a bit of a concern for several of our folks that might be making their way through parts of Kerrville. So I wanted to extend it out a little bit because earlier there were reports of high water rescues and evacuations over here by the Guadalupe River, Thompson Road, and also the River Oaks Apartments. And then a little bit further to the east of that, we had the Robles RV Park, which was also under evacuation orders. All of this kind of goes down to Bandera Road and Medina Highway. So right now we are seeing some delays right here for all of our drivers around Bandera Highway, kind of again along the Guadalupe River. Everything that's kind of running here, seeing some major flooding. Alex Gomez is in this one spot right here. This is 534 at basically Veterans Memorial Highway, and that's going to be south of Kerrville-Tybee High School, just to give you an idea of what we're looking at right now in terms of just flooded roads out there. Here's a look at 39, completely flooded, completely shut down at the moment. Again, this is much further west than what we've even seen over by Ingram and Hunt. So just some major concerns, some major flooding out here in the Hill Country area. Looks like water's starting to even rush down towards parts of Highway 16 as well. So let's go to Alex right now with the very latest in Drive Cam. And Alex has been getting some very compelling images for us. It looks like he's still out there by Riverside and FM 534, Veterans Memorial Highway. So Alex, what is the very latest?
30 years ago, maybe even longer than that. My brother was, I wouldn't even know.
And is this something that, is there a lot of rain here, or is it something that can be done?
Really, we don't have rain like this. Not like this.
Yeah, it sounds like Alex is potentially doing an interview right there with potentially a resident or someone that may have been out there along the Guadalupe River. You see some video of Alex right there. Hopefully, again, that he is staying safe And, we are praying for all of these residents, all of these people that were along the Guadalupe River as we continue to get more of these daylight images. And you see just the power of some of that rushing water out there. Okay, guys, so again, 39, FM 1334, a lot of these roads over by Kerrville, Arcadia, Thompson Road, completely flooded at the moment. I think we're going to go to Jeff next.
Speaking of power, we're getting into some power outages right now. This is coming from Kerrville Pub outage map. Okay, so if you look right here in Kerr County, you're looking at 4,436 people who are out at this time. So I'm going to zoom in just a little bit just to get a little bit more specific on this map. Hold on, let me a second. Get it all up. Okay, perfect. So at this time right here, if you click right there, it says that there is 1,673 people that are out at this time. Also, another situation right there, number of people out. We have a crew en route going on. Again, as you can see, this is along the river. So people who are waking up in the dark, this is probably what you're experiencing. We're going to stay on this and hopefully they get this situated throughout this morning. But first responders are obviously out and about trying to get everybody in some sense of normalcy throughout this morning. We'll stay on this. I'll keep on tracking these outages. We'll keep on tracking your pictures, your photos, your images, and staying in touch with our first responders that we do have on the phone as we speak. I'm going to be over to Ernie Zuniga. Ernie, you got anything?
Just checking in here. We're standing by. Patty Santos is reportedly at the scene of an ongoing rescue right now, and so there are, in the words of one person there in Kerrville, they've stopped counting the number of rescues that have been called out. There's a gentleman that we've been talking to in Kendall County who has been monitoring, listening to police scanners and ham radio and those kinds of things for hours now, and just kind of taking in everything that's happening as first responders are trying to get out there. And again, these are volunteer fire departments, smaller units. This is Alex Gomez, and so that's Alex, by the way, with the camera in his hand in the white shirt. So obviously we cannot talk to him right now, but this is his camera, and he is there just off to the side of that as the river continues to rage on there.
It looks like he's speaking with residents or someone nearby, but with that being said, Alex, we take our hat off to you because he's
yeah.
As much as you can.
Alex has been amazing, obviously, and
just going down. You can even see the bridge.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of his audio right there.
It was like almost inches from right below it. But I appreciate your time, sir.
Okay, we're just going to be eavesdropping on there, but
sound real soon.
Right, yeah, and Alex is by himself, so we're at the mercy of him kind of going back and forth and everything. He's getting the interviews, and obviously he's coming back to the vehicle, so we'll connect with him once he gets hooked up with his earpiece and everything, where we can talk back and forth with him. But pretty remarkable stuff, and Alex, of course, was Johnny on the spot 2-3 weeks ago when we went through all of that, the deadly flooding that played out here in San Antonio. So again, we're standing by for Patty Santos. She is at Blue Oak RV Park. Mm-hmm. And this is according to Patty. She's told that there may be several people missing there.
Oh, my goodness.
Again, this is from Patty. I'm just relaying this information. And we talked about, obviously, and this is Patty's shot right here. So I don't know if Patty can hear us. But we are, and Patty might be behind the camera. Okay, so Patty's actually operating the camera, I believe.
Yeah.
Photojournalist Santiago Esparza is with her, but he is presumably off.
Community right now.
Okay, so Patty, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, guys. So we are in the Blue Oak River Park community, and here's what we're looking at. There is an active rescue that is happening right now. We could see the crews that are all suited up. We know that they brought in some of the boats here, and on the other side, and I'm actually using my my cell phone because it is very difficult to walk. Everything here is very muddy, but we're told that they're trying to reach some people that were in the RV park right here, right next door in the Blue Oak Park that were washed away. One man telling me there was about 5 trailers, he said, that he saw just going down the river. There was screaming that was happening, and right now when it's finally daylight, perhaps they have been able to spot some of these people maybe that are hanging on to some trees or some of the debris. One man told me that there were children that they're concerned about as well. Again, This is a very fluid situation. We are trying to be respectful and give the crews right now the distance that they need in order to be able to perform these rescues. But this is the situation that we're looking at right now. Right over here, we saw some of the crews, and we've been trying to get a hold of the emergency managers to figure out what the rescue looks like. And this is where we were led. This is the area where they're pulling in some boats. And we're just going to wait and see. Everything has to be very slow and methodical for these crews because, again, it's very muddy. The water is moving very fast, and they just have to take their time so that they're safe as well. But that is the scene that we have right now. We're going to try to give you more updates, but I'm just going to let you see what's happening right now. And again, very muddy situation, very fluid. And I'm going to try to walk over here a little bit closer to give you a better look of what we're seeing. Again, we're using our cell phones because our truck cannot make it into this area because it's so muddy, and it would just be impossible to get out of this right now. But you could see some of the debris, some of the cars that were washed down the river here, some of the RVs that were torn into pieces. This was an RV at one point. And we are seeing some of the items that are left behind here. But all of this, one guy tells me all of this is actually full of RVs at one point. Nobody really got any warning. And that is when they came out and they started seeing and hearing some of the people floating down the river. And trying to see if we could see where exactly the crews are looking
Patty,
to
Patty,
head
I don't know if
to.
you can hear me. But I want to ask you real quick, have you noticed that the river is going down? Have you seen it fall from where it was? Okay. Okay. Well, hopefully that it is going down, and that's some great reporting there by Patty. Please stay safe, and thank goodness for those first responders. They're out there putting their life on the line for others, and we do appreciate that. And what a morning it's been, and probably a rude awakening for a lot of those first responders. And by the way, just to give you some historical perspective, this is the largest rise in the Guadalupe River, we believe, since the 1987 flood. And if you were around in 1987, you remember the school bus. They had to rescue kids from the treetops. It was a major flood event. This kind of harkens back to that, and I think this is going to bring back some of those memories, unfortunately. Right now, there still is light rain going on around Kerrville, and we still have that flash flood emergency. That's going to go for a while longer. I mean, at this point, it's moved. It's going to be an issue for several more hours. But there's flood warnings for the river itself. And as I pointed out earlier, the only thing that really kind of concerns me now, other than obviously the river flooding, is the fact that we still have some rain starting to rotate back towards Kerrville. So this low that's behind all of this, and a lot of times these tend to sort of blow up overnight, and they tend to go through the morning hours, and then they tend to wane as you get into the afternoon. But we're starting to see some additional development here, and some storms developing in Real County and over towards Edwards County. So if we continue to get more rain in some of these watersheds, this could be a longer lasting issue. But just know that downstream, and I've said this every time, but I'm going to emphasize it again, downstream, Comfort, past Kerrville, even into Kendall County and beyond, the Guadalupe River is going to rise, and it's going to rise quickly, because this is, you think of it like a wall of water. It's exactly what it is. And I do suspect that the water's down a little bit where Patty was, and I think I overheard Alex saying that he was starting to notice the water come down, and that would be kind of the next step. Now, I believe he is near Kerrville, but Comfort, you still have to wait on that rise. It's not quite there yet for you, and you've got rain coming down on top of this. So very quickly, let's kind of go back to the headlines, and this is the other thing we want to make sure everyone's fully aware of, that there is flooding underway, flash flood emergency for Kendall, Comal, Kerr counties. Kerr and Kindle at the moment. Comal eventually, because that water will go downstream. Please be alert. San Antonio, we just got light rain. There's no flooding here. We do not have a threat for flooding, but the roads will be wet. There will be slick roads. Fireworks, again, we think some of this will start to die down to the point where we should have our fireworks celebrations tonight. Still, with that said, I would, stay tuned, and if anything changes, we'll let you know. Weekend, we'll have some spotty rain. Saturday, warmer Sunday. And there are some indications now, too, we could see some more storms develop overnight, which would also be concerning. Again, we're going to stay on top of all this. The computer models just, in these situations, in these kind of tropical situations, they just do not handle it well at all. And that, I think, has been the case here. Very quickly, we have Pacific moisture streaming in, a ton of moisture in place, and that's why we're getting this heavy rain. I think we need to go back to Patty now with an update there. Patty, what do you got?
Hey there. So we are seeing the crews right now getting started, and it looks like they're moving upstream here on the river. And as you were mentioning, it does look like the river is going down just a little bit. Just in the few minutes that I've been standing here, it does look like it is going down. But you can see there's two crews on here. And again, we're in the Blue Oak RV Park area in Ingram, where we are told that there were some RVs with people screaming, floating down the river a few hours ago. And it looks like, I don't know if they're specifically going to an area where a person is, but it looks like they are on the move right now. A lot of people describing, again, the horrific sound of an RV going. It was pitch black. They said they couldn't see, but they could hear the screams. This was actually an RV that was pretty full, they said. And all of that right here where the water is, all of that is now underwater. Looks like they're on the move. Looks like they're going northbound here, and you can just even see how much of the debris in this home here that looks like it was flooded. I'm going to move a little closer, and again, we're using a cell phone video because we couldn't get our truck in here. The ground is so saturated that it's nearly impossible to get around here, and you can see some of that debris that is all over here. This is somebody's campground. It looks like it is completely flooded. The windows and the door here are completely gone. They're missing, and it looks like our crews are way back there, moving up, moving against the current, trying to get to some rescue. I'm going to walk over slowly to see if we can get a better view, but this is the situation that we're going right now, and I'll give you an update as soon as I get one, Justin.
Thank you, Patty.
Man, that is some extreme water. You see the flow of that? Just, they're fighting in those boats with the motors going. So yeah, hopefully Patty just stays safe out there. We'll be checking in with her. I want to look at these outages real quick. This is in that area. Okay, so if you look right here, Kerr County is experiencing 5,270 people, 74 people who are out of power at this time. So if I click right here, we got one near Kerrville Hills Ranch Estates. You're looking at 110 people who are out. This is kind of the biggest trouble spot right there. Number of outages happening right there is 1,673. So this right here, again, it's along the East Main Street. So guys, if you guys are waking up in the dark, hopefully they're getting that situated for you to get under control. Now I want to go back to the social media pages. That's how we've been kind of staying in touch with what's going on as the latest update that we did have, again, coming in from the City of Kerrville Police Department, again, evacuating residents, reminding all of them Walmart is still being used as that temporary reunification center. Many roads and streets are flooding in town. We got a partial list in Arcadia Loop, most of Thompson Drive, Guadalupe Street, Lowry Street, again, you name it. Again, they are asking everybody to stay out of these flooded areas and do not drive through water. Do not call 911 to ask for updates so that they're not inundated with a lot of people who are needing help right now. Let's go over to the county sheriff's page real quick. They too released an update. Again, this was just a couple hours ago, but as you can see, they have been just completely busy. I want to look at the comments because there are a lot of people who are kind of communicating with each other throughout this weather event. And it's kind of giving us a perspective as far as what they're experiencing, what they're seeing. I want to go down here to the latest comments that were coming in that I saw that kind of caught my attention. It was set, of course, asking about the camps that were going on. We told you about Oliver saying that my friend and her family are on their rooftop in Hunt waiting for rescue. We got a lot of people kind of let people know that how scary of a situation it is coming from Sophie. We have one person, Aaron Burgess, says that we lost everything in Bumblebee Hills. So yeah, a very terrifying situation that they are dealing with in their community. And at this time, again, we're asking everybody that if you do have images that you can send in, give us that perspective of what you are looking at and what you see in your area so we can give your neighbors that perspective, bringing it to you live on air. If you're tuning in for us with the KSAT Weather Authority app, KSAT Connect is where you send it in. Again, this one came in from Hitzfelder Moving, said just got evacuated from Comfort at RV park. This is at Centerport, and as you can see, the water is flowing. His RV is right there, and it's just a sad situation because you already know these RVs that are being swept away. Sometimes that is a person's livelihood. That's where they live, and if that's all of their property that's going up in the water, then that is very damaging. We're going to be following that closely as well, but. Send your pictures, send your photos, send your videos, get them to us in a safe manner. Again, we don't want you risking your life trying to get something into our newsroom. Again, send it where you are safe and protected. If you are at one of these staging areas or temporary shelters or anything, you can see something, shoot it our way. So again, we can give that communicated to your community at KSAT Connect. Sending your photos, and obviously we got the QR code right there. We got our very own RJ Marquez. He's been in the building all day, kind of monitoring the roadways, staying in touch with all kind of people and your resources.
All right. Yeah, Jeff. So again, this is that area that Patty's at right now. This is going to be at State Highway 39, right there in between Lake New Ingram and Lake Old Ingram. So obviously we have a couple of bodies of water here that's kind of meeting up with the Guadalupe River as well. And again, our prayers are going out to all of these folks out here as we continue to gather a little bit more information. I'm going to zoom out because that is the one main stretch of a highway right now in that one particular spot that is completely flooded at this time. But TxDOT now reporting that FM 1338, a little bit north of that, also flooded at the moment. And then FM 1273, which is further south and actually closer to Highway 16 for our folks right here. That one is being reported as flooded as well for all of our folks that are going to be out in that one particular spot. So let's take you out to our maps right now because Kerrville's been a focus here because we do have some of our major roads that run through the city of Kerrville right here, and that's going to be Medina. This is going to be Bandera, basically Highway 16, if you will. And earlier we had reports of high water rescues in this one particular spot right there where the Guadalupe River meets with Thompson Road. That area is flooded as well as we take a look at Highway 27. Also, some high water evacuations and rescues taking place at this moment. So you take a look at Memorial Boulevard. But this is moving a little bit east now. I'm going to zoom us back out and show you a little bit of our activity here. Again, this is going to be east over here by Bandera. We are seeing some flooded roads in that one particular spot. And now we're actually seeing a little bit more flooding right here over by Centerpoint and FM 480. So this is kind of new. And again, along the Guadalupe River for all of our drivers that are along Highway 27. So just a dangerous situation throughout this entire stretch of the Hill Country, specifically focusing on 480 and also Bandera Highway right there. So the biggest point, though, of contention has been Highway 39, and I believe we have Patty Santos back with us, who is out here again in that one stretch in between Lake New Ingram and Lake Old Ingram, where we have reports of potentially some people missing. Patty, what can you tell us on the scene right now?
Okay, so you are seeing the crews right now actually on the river, and they went up the stream and then they just came down here. I don't know why they stopped here. I don't know if they see someone up on the tree or not, but this is where they stopped, and it's incredible just how quickly the river is moving their little boats here. But of course they are professionals, but the situation is just, it's so changing right now. You see this dog right here just pulled from this house here. The fire volunteers here checking in to make sure that no one was home, that no one was in need of rescue, and they were able to get this little puppy out. He's pretty scared right now, so they're trying to pick him up. But here you see the crews coming back in. It looks like it didn't seem like there was anything, anyone that needed to be rescued there, but it looks like they're getting out right now. We did see them go upstream. I think they were checking maybe trees or just areas up north. This is where the RV used to be. One of the tenants here told me this was all full. This was full of RVs at one point yesterday, and now this morning you can see some of the debris. Let me walk a little closer over here. This, it looks like it's a part of a shed or a building, but you see just how strong the current that was coming in, and it got stuck here on this side, on this other side as well. Some more debris, but all of this, it's just the first time that some of the volunteer fire crews, they've been busy with other things. This is the first time that they come out here to try and make sure and check some of the buildings. This building, they have cleared it so far, and they did pull this dog. But again, I think they're just now getting to assess some of the situation to try and figure out who's missing and where they're going to start searching for people. We have been trying to get a hold of emergency crews, and you know, I can imagine they're pretty busy. So we're just going to bring you the pictures of what we're seeing right now and bring you updates. Again, it looks like the crews went up, didn't find anything, but they might possibly be moving to another area right now. We'll send it back to you guys.
Patty, thank you. And you know, you can tell the dog knew something was wrong, right? So much going on there. Patty's doing some great reporting. We hope, man, we hope everyone is okay. And those first responders doing great work there, trying to make sure of that. Okay, the authority radar. What I can see here is a little bit of a spin in the atmosphere. So this is a mid-level low. But the problem with it is not moving. It is just sitting here and spiraling, and just, there is so much moisture in the atmosphere. I can't emphasize that enough, because you look at the soundings, and what a sounding is you take a balloon, it goes up through the atmosphere, and we can test levels of the atmosphere. Well, there is moisture all the way through. So these storms will produce, it's very tropical type rainfall. And this has a tropical connection to it, I mean, to the Pacific. So we are inundated with moisture. That's the first problem. And then we're getting the lift, and herein lies the issue. And in these kind of flows and these kind of patterns, the computer models don't do us a lot of good. So we have to really, you know, look at the weather situation and just kind of take it as it is. And that's exactly what we're doing. And you look at Kerrville, still some light rain here. Now, San Antonio, the rain is actually starting to let up a little bit. Whatever light rain we did have, still some sprinkles for sure. And we're starting to get a few, like, you know, spotty showers mixed in with this, some of this stratiform rain. But it looks as though we are getting some of the heavy rain trying to drift back towards Kerrville, which would be a worst case scenario, adding to what we've already seen. Now, a couple of points here. The river in Ingram and Hunt, I think, is going down, just based on what I'm seeing with Patty's shot. Probably also the case in Kerrville, but that's not after it's already, you know, done a lot of damage. For folks in Comfort, I still think, you know, the gauge here is not working, and that's another concern. The gauges have gone down on the Guadalupe River. I still think it's probably rising as we speak, but you may have some time before it officially peaks there in the city of Comfort. Same for Sisterdale, same for those down the line. So Spring Branch, eventually Comal County, you're going to see these rises. And then eventually this all goes into Canyon Lake, which, despite all the, you know, the tragic news that we're hearing this morning, that is a good news for Canyon Lake, because we will see some significant rises there, I do believe. Let's zoom in here on some of these heavier storms. There are some downpours starting to take shape around New Braunfels. We're seeing that. You're still getting light rain from Bulverde to Bernie, and areas that are going to see flooding from the river are also getting rain on top of that. So that is a problem. And let me be very clear about the fact that even if the rain is letting up, the flooding, if you are along the Guadalupe River, is still very dangerous. Major flood stage is what we're hearing, and what the gauges were showing before they went down there at Hunt, Kerrville. And when you get to major flood stage, that's when structures along the river go underwater. That's when cars get swept away. That's when bridges can get swept away. Now, we haven't seen that. I don't want to, you know, talk out of turn there, but low water crossings become just completely hazardous. And so that's what we're dealing with this morning. And it is a problem. Now, what about the forecast? You may be asking that. Well, what can we expect for July 4th? Let's look at the forecast for today. And This is for, again, fireworks tonight. Now, if that low sticks around, we may have to bring rain chances up a little bit more tonight, and obviously that could affect fireworks. Now, our experience is with these lows, they tend to kind of blow up overnight in the mornings, and then they tend to kind of become less intense during the day. Let me put it that way. And so in theory, rain chances would come down. And I know if you have outdoor plans, you're saying, hey, I want the sun, we were going to go to the pool, whatever. I don't know that we're going to get a lot of sun today just based on the current situation that we're in. And we still certainly could see some showers, but we do think rain chances will come down some. This temperature will be fully dependent on if we get sun or not. If we don't, it could be lower than that. But that's kind of the idea. And what's behind all this? Well, again, we have a tropical connection. So we're getting a ton of Pacific moisture in. From what's left of Flossie out there, that's all coming in. We had good Gulf moisture on top of that. And if we're going to get major rain events in Texas, that is the ingredients. Those are the ingredients that you need. A drifting area of low pressure, moisture from the Pacific and the Gulf, and all of these are coming together this morning to create the situation that we're in. So a flash flood emergency continues for Kerr County, and that's going to go for a while longer until these floodwaters subside. Flash flood warnings until 10 a.m., but these river warnings that we have are going to go till 2 p.m. And again, that extends into Kendall County, and that may be extended even further east as that water continues to travel down the Guadalupe River. Ernie?
Okay. And we're going to make a space for Justin here to come over because we're going to get to Jaffney and RJ in a minute, but we were reflecting, a lot of people talking about 1987.
Yes.
And that might be too far back for some people, but I was just doing some research here. So it was July 16th, 1987. Upwards of 10 to 11 inches of rain fell just west of Hunt. Mm-hmm. And some people are, and they were talking about training storms and how that unfolded that day. And people are saying, as we're looking at, I think that's Patty Santos' shot once again of rescue crews, that their boats were out in the water a short time ago and they've come back for a little bit of a break, it seems. But people are saying this is worse than what happened in 1987.
Which is mind-blowing. And if you remember 1987, the famous, I don't want to say famous, infamous video of the bus getting swept away and kids clinging to trees. Yeah. Just an awful, awful situation. Obviously we don't think we've seen that sort of thing this morning, but we don't know how people have been affected just yet. We're still kind of gathering that information. But that is a historical benchmark, the 1987 flood. And, the things that have changed since then, which I hope have helped, is that you have alerts on your cell phone, and hopefully folks there got that in time to maybe get to higher ground.
Okay, so we'll give him a breather here as we continue to monitor Patty Santos' shot again of responders there that are, I guess for the moment, assessing the situation, and perhaps we'll go back out in the water. They were out there a short time ago fighting off that current and that swift moving water. So we'll keep an eye on that. Alex Gomez has his camera as well. We have Sarah Acosta. I believe she's with Robert Samron. They are also heading out, and so we're going to connect with them in just a little while. So stand by while we maintain all of these. We are getting more pictures and videos, and Jaffney is right here across the way monitoring all of that on social media as well.
Yeah, so before we get into those pictures, I want to break down our outages really quick. Those of you who are living in this area in Kerr County, they're currently experiencing 5,274 people who are without power. Now, we got 21.86% that is out at this time. So specifically clicking around right here, I want to go in the Kerrville area number who are out, 1,673. We're looking over here near the airport. You got 1,011, so 1,011 people currently experiencing some kind of outages as we speak. So again, we're going to be following this. Hopefully they get that kind of back on level, on surface, because obviously there are a lot of things happening that the first responders are kind of occupied and busy with. So also I want to get into this again. The latest contact that we had with the dispatch out there was saying that this is definitely an active scene. Obviously we saw Patty out there giving you kind of that bird's eye and that firsthand view of what's going on. Says this may be a once in a lifetime flood for the Kerr County, and we have multiple calls. High water rescues are asking people to avoid traveling west of Ingram near Guadalupe River. All low water crossings in Kerr County extremely hazardous right now. So I've been on the sheriff's page, I've been on the police department's page, kind of getting that that perspective from the people who are living there. Okay, so I do want to bring this comment out right here. Amanda Henderson writing in saying that to any of my Hill Country friends, please evacuate if you or your loved ones are near the Guadalupe. The photos and rivers are super terrifying. So yeah, obviously that is something that is rocking them. And then we have another message coming in from someone saying, praying for my hometown, Danielle Vacho. So again, if you got family members in that area, our prayers are definitely for them, but please check in with them. We have another one, Audrey, saying take cautions if you're in this area. That is definitely true. And again, if you have any videos, pictures, anything that we can show and see, give people that expect, like that firsthand view of what your neighbors could possibly see, what could help them get out of whatever situation they are in, because I know they are waking up now that the sun is coming out. They're waking up and they're seeing the destruction that's taking place due to these waters that have come in and come in so quickly. So again, this is a terrifying situation, and we're staying in touch with anybody that we possibly can to get you guys the information, the rules, the needs that you guys need. We do know, I know Walmart is being used as some type of temporary shelter for people to go to like as a standing ground. So we'll give you guys the details as much as possible. And obviously you can follow us along ksat.com, get the Weather Authority app, the KSAT Weather Authority app, check in on that for that up-to-date radar. And also there you'll be connected with KSAT Connect. You can send your photos in and get it to us on air so that we can blast it out across our area so they can see exactly where you're at, what they're seeing if they're living next to you. And if you have family that are here in San Antonio, they're, again, very peaceful here, but if they are seeing what you're seeing, you know, perhaps they'll know exactly what areas are the most trouble spots. So let's get over to RJ Marquez. He's been tracking all this situation from the roads perspective.
All right, Japhanie. So, so obviously, prayers going out right now to everyone that's being affected by this, and you see just the impact this is having for everyone that's commenting on social media, and we're continuing to follow the very latest updates. But as we've been reporting throughout our entire morning here, State Highway 39, major flooding along this one entire stretch. So this is basically where Patty's at this moment. So this is going to be right here by Cade Loop, and for anyone familiar with the Ingram area, a little bit south of Ingram Moore High School as well. So Patty was reporting that there were potentially some missing people over along this one RV park on this one stretch that runs along the Guadalupe, and this runs parallel to Highway 39. So you could imagine just the flooding and the bit of devastation that we're going to see there. Let's go east a little bit to the Kerrville area, because now this is brand new. Apparently 534 completely shut down. Guys, remember we talked earlier about Veterans Memorial Highway. Why was there still traffic going through here? Now our maps are indicating that that is completely closed at the moment. So that's going to be the bridge that we saw earlier, Alex, that was over the Guadalupe River, crossing through Memorial Boulevard. This is south of Tybee High School. So apparently it looks like they have completely shut down that overpass over Guadalupe, the Guadalupe River right there. So my concern being that Bandera also runs through here. Medina Highway also splits off through here. And we've already seen a little bit of activity right here for some of these major roadways for all of our folks out here in Kerrville. Let's move a little bit further east, because we also have some delays taking place right here, FM 480. And again, this is all along the Guadalupe. As we kind of gave you along here, this is where we're seeing the most activity, flooded roads right now. Highway 27 being affected at the moment. This is for all of our folks out here in Center Point. So again, just a lot of different things going on. A lot of our main FM roads, State Highway 39 being affected. So let's go back to Alex Gomez in Drive Cam. We saw him talking to some folks earlier over by Riverside, where there's been a ton of evacuations, and looks like we maybe have a lost pig out here, some bit of lost livestock. Alex, what is the very latest out there, and what are some updates that you could share with us?
Yeah, good morning, RJ. So I wouldn't be surprised if fences were just knocked over. You're going to have livestock kind of just roaming around the area. This is going to be, of course, you can see the lights in the distance. This is not too far away from Guadalupe River again. This is on a road called Sutherland Lane, and I'm just here. I'm trying to make my way closer to the river, but you still have more crews. You have more fire crews headed towards that area just to make sure everyone who is around here can just pretty much turn around and avoid this at all possible costs. But yeah, we do have again, livestock. We've got a pig right here in the middle of the roadway, so just be careful, because again, fences, debris, there's a lot of debris out here that's just knocking over stuff to where these animals can get out. And earlier I was talking to residents over there by Veterans Memorial and even Riverside Drive, and yeah, they're shocked. They've never seen stuff like this happen before. Their power is out right now. They've had a power outage for some time. A pole was knocked over and it landed onto next to someone's house. It actually broke their fence. So, I mean, they're just glad to be okay. Their family is going to be doing okay. I have more interview, and I talked to him that we're going to be featuring later in today's newscast. So be aware of that. But I'm going to keep on getting closer to the Guadalupe River because it's heading downstream, and I'll make my way to the river and even closer to Center Point to give you more updates on how Center Point is doing.
Hey, Alex, yeah, we saw you interviewing those folks down there. At last check, had that water kind of gone over Veterans Memorial Highway? Because our maps are indicating that that loop right there, 534, is now closed. So not sure if you saw anything on that end or if there's any new information you could share for all of our folks out there in Kerrville.
Yeah, when I left, it was still open, but I left, I want to say about half an hour ago. The water was getting lower, though. When we saw it and when we were talking to Justin on air, we were talking, I mean, it was inches away from touching the bridge right there on the bottom. So from when I left, I mean, we were talking about feet, at least maybe 5 feet. So definitely the water level was getting lower right there on Veterans Memorial Bridge. And yeah, so I'm following it downstream, and I'll give you more updates to where it hits next. And at this point, it could be a Center Point, and again, passing Center Point going to Comfort.
Okay, thank you very much for that update, Alex.
Okay, and speaking to that, just looking at the latest river gauges, again, we're not getting data out, and that could be because the water, broke the sensor. Doesn't necessarily mean that water got that high, but depending on how the sensor is set up. Regardless, Comfort is expected to see a peak into major flood stage if the river forecast is correct. Around 1 o'clock this afternoon. So again, we're still several hours away from that. And Alex rightly pointed out that water is starting to come down where he is, but it will rise further downstream. Now, one of our concerns as we look at authority radar here is, again, you see that swirl in the atmosphere. We are still getting some thunderstorm activity. And I just looked at the cloud tops, which we can often do with these systems. And if they're still really cold, that means this system is still holding together and still holding its strength. And so far, it is. So as long as that's the case, we're still going to get some heavy rain in spots here. Now, Kerrville, it's all light rain right now, and it does appear that it's letting up, certainly letting up in San Antonio. It looks like we're kind of seeing this thing kind of constrict, more or less. So the really heavy stuff's up here around Junction up towards San Angelo. But where this thing drifts is going to have a huge bearing on how the rest of the day plays out and how tomorrow plays out even. Okay, so these things are always very tricky. And the way the forecast looks right now is we're thinking that rain will let up some here in San Antonio, but I am afraid that we're going to see a lot of clouds today. So for those of you hoping to lay out by the pool, just know that there's going to be cloud cover and we may still get some showers. But again, our main concern now still lies with the city of Kerrville and what's going on there, and Kerr County in general, and now moving into Kendall and eventually Comal counties. The rain does appear to be picking up in intensity north of Junction. So again, an indication that this little system, this little swirl in the atmosphere is showing few signs of giving up. And this is just one of those situations where it's all just kind of coming together and not in a great way because it's coinciding with just a ton of moisture being over top of us, and you get the lift that you need, and this is the end result. Let's look a little closer here at Kerr County. I know this morning we've done a lot looking at rainfall totals, but I think it's worth looking again because we're still getting rain. And so you can see why the Guadalupe River flooded. Look at these estimated rainfall totals. I mean, these are enormous. You start getting into the 10-inch plus range, and Ernie pointed out that the 1987 flood, this is so reminiscent of that. I mean, just a very similar situation. And you're getting 8, 9, 10 inches of rain falling in a short amount of time, falls right into the South Fork of the Guadalupe River, and that all just gets funneled downstream. Not only that, you're talking about elevation changes here. So the way it works in the hill country is you have gravity playing a role here too. So that just gives it another extra force as this water rushes towards Kerrville and Comfort. And so that is why I think that so many places and residences and cabins and all that were affected here along the river. My hope, and I really hope that they got warning and folks were able to move away from the river before that flooding hit. But we're still getting news on that. And of course, Patty is still gathering information on that. But that's the last 24 hours. That's the estimated rainfall. And real quick, I'll go back to radar and take a look at one more time what we're dealing with. Now in San Antonio, it's all just really, really light rain, especially if you're on the north side. Do want to mention places like Lakey. You've seen some pretty heavy rain this morning. Kerr County is certainly the hardest hit, but even Bandera County last night got a ton of heavy rain. And these are over watersheds. So in theory, Medina Lake, but more so Canyon Lake should see some big rises, and we'll see what goes on with the aquifer. But at this point, that is secondary to our concerns about folks' livelihoods up there in Kerr County and what's going on with the flooding. Ernie.
Okay, wanted to check in, just to update everybody on Comfort Volunteer Fire Department they've just come out and issued a mandatory evacuation for Comfort residents. This is along the Guadalupe River, so this isn't like everybody in Comfort, but this is residents along the Guadalupe River. They have, due to major flooding along the river, Kendall County Emergency Management has issued a mandatory evacuation for all residents in affected areas there by the Guadalupe River, and they are saying leave right now. Do not wait. And obviously they're saying head to higher ground, do not drive through floodwaters. And again, we've seen this already play out because these are smaller communities with limited resources, not San Antonio Fire Department, Bexar County Sheriff, SAPD at their disposal. They can't necessarily put up barricades or cones or barrels or shut off roads as easily as they might be able to do here in the metropolitan areas and everything. So one more time, Comfort Volunteer Fire Department has issued a mandatory evacuation for residents in Comfort that are along the Guadalupe River. So please relay that to people in that area if you know somebody that is over there. And we'll continue to keep an eye on all of that. I want to go over to Jaffney again as we're continuing to get images and more information there at the Storyteller.
Yeah, as far as the outages go, again, we're still looking at just over 5,000 people still experiencing some type of outage taking place, over 5,000 outages taking place. So I do want to talk about this real quick. Again, I'm following the conversations on the public pages of the first responders. Kerr County Sheriff's Office post was telling everybody basically about the evacuations and the trouble spots that they've been dealing with, warning people not to go into those low water zones and to just seek safety and shelter. Well, earlier this morning, we mentioned a comment from Laura McCarthy. She said that my mother-in-law is trapped in the trailers between Ingram and Hunt Road, or Ingram and Hunt on 39. She's in the first trailer. Please, someone help. Well, got a latest update, which is a great update. She comes back later and she says that fortunately, they got the whole park rescued now. Her mom is safe at this time, but sadly, she has several cats and dogs as well that will need to be accounted for later. But that's just good news. Again, things are replaceable. People are not. So thank God that we were able to have some good news coming from that front. Now, people are sending their stuff in. We got this coming in from Braswell. Braswell sent us this. They just said flood on July 4th. Very concerning view right here that looks very, very terrifying right now. Obviously, we are getting these videos in firsthand. If you got something that you would like for us to see that we can share just to show the devastation that's been taking place so abruptly on the 4th of July, send them our way on KSAT Connect. So at this time, I know we do have our very own Patty Santos. She's been out and about doing a fantastic job giving us those firsthand perspectives of what the people in that community are seeing and what they're dealing with. We're going to go out to her to check in and see if she has an update on what her area is looking like. Hey, Patty.
Hey there, you were just mentioning Highway 27, and that is exactly where we are right now. I want to show you the scene. This has been closed for quite some time since we got here this morning. This road heading towards Hunt is not passable right now. We did leave the scene that where we were earlier, where there was a rescue that was happening because it looked like they didn't find anything, and they were loading the boats back on the trailer, hopefully to move on to another area to search. But this is a lot of what we're seeing. Right in front, you can actually see it. I don't know if we can move the camera here. Some of the debris on the ground that has been left, that was swept away. All of this area was flooded earlier this morning. One of the roads that we actually saw where we did our very first report this morning. It's actually now cleared, but this road is still closed, but the water has receded significantly. So hopefully we're going to be able to catch up with some of the folks that live across that road. I know that woman that I talked to that was there, she was devastated trying to find her husband on the other side. Hopefully once things start clearing out, we're going to be able to get more access to the folks that were trapped on the other side. But this is a situation that we're looking at right now. Again, emergency responders not giving a lot of information this morning because everything is changing so quickly. But we're going to stay on the scene here and bring you more images. We'll send it back to you guys.
All right, thank you very much for that, Patty. And again, I'm praying for those folks out there. And hopefully, as we continue to gather more information, we can get some better updates, as this situation definitely became pretty severe out there. I want to show you the latest updates here from our Drive Texas map. And what you're looking at in the blue, the highlighted blue areas are the areas that basically TxDOT, along with city and county officials, have indicated as mostly major flooded roads. So Highway 39, that's going to be running all the way from Highway 83 past Hunt, past Ingram, and that, of course, is where Patty was at earlier. This one particular stretch, which was south of Ingram Moore High School, is where she reported at that RV park that they were still searching for some individuals. We also have major flooding along 1338 that runs north and south off of I-10. And then a little bit closer to Kerrville, we have major flooding over here in this one stretch. That's 394 for our folks down in Kerrville, and then also FM 1273. Now, this one particular spot is pretty much brand new. So I've been kind of monitoring this over the past maybe 10, 15 minutes or so, and it now looks like we have some major flooding going along this road right here. That's going to be 480, and that's going to be for all of our folks along the Center Point area. FM 1350 now seeing major flooding. Highway 27 seeing major flooding there as well. So let's go ahead and take you to our maps, because we've been showing you 39. Obviously, this is a major highway that runs basically east and west on parts of the hill country here. And this highway has been completely shut down over the past hours or so. As we give you a look here, Kerrville area, there were reports of high water rescues over in RV Park that was a little bit south of Kerrville right here. That's going to be Robles RV Park, and a little bit further up the road here, that was going to be the River Oaks Apartments. High water rescues, evacuations along the Guadalupe River there as well. That's this is Loop 534, basically Veterans Memorial Highway south of Kerrville-Tivy. So earlier it looked like they may have potentially or temporarily closed that one stretch of road, but that looks like it may have been reopened over the past couple of minutes or so. FM 480, we saw this. We do have this entire area that is also seeing some flooding on this one entire stretch of road, FM 480, and also Highway 27 for all of our folks in Center Point. And Ernie mentioned it earlier, over in the Comfort area, there is reports of water on some of the roads right here. This is going to be High Street for all of our folks out here in the Comfort area. And again, they are alerting folks of some water that's coming their way. Mill Dam Road, also off of the Guadalupe River for all of our people out there in Comfort. So let's go to Alex Gomez with the very latest in Drive Cam. He's been kind of making his way through parts of Kerrville and then Center Point and see exactly what we're looking at in terms of things on the ground. Alex, I don't know if he could hear me right now. Alex, can you hear me? Okay, Alex can't hear me. It looks like he may have a potential resident or someone that was there along the Guadalupe. Alex?
Yeah, good morning, RJ. I just made it into Center Point right now, and I have Sue with me right here. Sue, if you want to just step in right here, and I can show you some video real quick while we get Sue situated. But we do have, this is going to be in Center Point. One of her houses right here on the corner is just pretty much flooded. They're trying to get the animals out. But Sue, I mean, I have you right here with me. Can you just talk about what you experienced, and I mean, what's been going on out here?
Just a lot of rain, but it hadn't got up this much since '04. And the last time it did, I opened my back door and had a mobile home here, and it was up so high. And it was just nothing but water surrounding me.
Right.
And second time I had to move from this place, you know. But we're buying it because, you know.
If I can, I'm going to move the camera around just to show everybody, but can you talk about what's going on in this area?
Just the rivers, when it rains upstream a lot of times too, and it comes down, it starts flooding this area here. And it meets together and it just starts wiping shit out. But at one time it had taken a cabin out over here that was over here. Just the ground just split in half.
Right. And I can see the river from here. How far would you say it is from your house?
It's less than a mile, or maybe a half a mile, or across the street, across there. So.
Well, it's good to see you're doing all right, Sue. Thank you for just talking to me and giving me your experience.
Second time we did this, but hey, we manage and we come back on it.
Did you get any kind of warning? Did you know this, or did you just wake up to this?
We just woke up to this. Other places they may have warnings, but we didn't have any warning whatsoever. But things can be replaced, people can't. So.
Well, thank you again, Sue, and hopefully you can get some help pretty soon now.
I hope so. Yes, sir. Thank you. And you be safe today.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'll send it back to you, RJ.
Okay, thank you very much, Alex. And you just see some of the devastation, obviously catastrophic flooding. And I think early you had just mentioned, Ernie, that Kerr County Sheriff's Office is now confirming some fatalities, but not releasing further information, if I'm correct.
Yeah, so no, they...
Yeah, no, sorry, RJ. We were saying, and we'll get back to Patty here momentarily. In the last 5 minutes, the Kerr County Sheriff's Office has confirmed. We were just messaging with their PIO, their Public Information Officer. They are confirming multiple fatalities. They will not say how many, and they're not releasing any further information until next of kin are notified. And so they are working with multiple local and state authorities and officials that have come in to obviously help a smaller agency, as we said. So again, they are confirming, in their words, multiple fatalities.
Yeah, and they're also saying that residents are encouraged to shelter in place and do not attempt to travel. Those near the creeks, streams, and the Guadalupe River, you need to immediately move to higher ground. So this is a very, very situation. Do not underestimate it whatsoever. And again, it's very unfortunate because it's being a holiday. A lot of people are waking up to this. But our very own Patty Santos, she's been out there physically showing us everything that the community is waking up to now that the sun is out. So good morning, Patty. What are you looking at now?
Hey there, good morning. And as we have been reporting this morning, you know, people were hearing the screams of people floating down the river, and they were stuck in their RV. So I can only imagine that a lot of that rescue is probably going to happen, or it's actually not going to be a recovery. It's going to happen down the river from here. But I wanted to show you this, the road here. This is the first road that we showed you. It was pitch black when we first got here, and this entire road was covered in water. It was fast moving. And this right here was that car that we showed you, very first car that was floating. You could barely see it because it was raining really hard and it was pitch black, but you can see just how much of a difference here the situation looks like, and how much the water has receded. So as this water recedes, hopefully this will help emergency crews recover any of those people that are believed to be missing from this flood. We're actually talking to some of the neighbors here, and they're pretty shocked. A lot of them said they've never seen the water move so quickly. Others said that they've seen it, but they never heard the warnings that came to them, and that is the unfortunate situation. We knew that this was coming, but when we were trying to reach some of the folks at the campgrounds, no one was answering the calls. I don't know if that was because there was nobody on site that was monitoring the situation or what was happening, but it has been very difficult to get information from emergency responders because, as you know, it's just such a fast-paced situation. They're actively doing rescues. Some of these are volunteer crews, so it's very small organizations that are working. So they're going to need a lot of help right now. We're going to find out how you can help them and give you more information on that. We'll send it back to you guys.
All right, thanks so much, Patty. We're going to get to Justin right after. Are we going to him now? We're going to go ahead and go straight to him, or are we going to?
Okay. All right.
Okay,
well, I'll take it over for now. We'll send it back over to you in just a second, Jeff. Okay, so yeah, you just heard Patty talk there, the situation, and it is pretty amazing to see how far that water has now receded, but it also goes to show you just how high that water got this morning. Now, to just kind of play it all back for you, to reset everything, this all started around 4 a.m. this morning. Now, there was already rain falling, but this is where we started to really get that bullseye of really heavy rain there in Kerr County. And that's when we started to get some of these flash flood warnings. And that's when things started to really kind of take hold. And since then, it's still raining, we're almost 5 hours later, and there's still rain coming down in Kerr County. But where we had that bullseye of rain this morning, that all fed into the Guadalupe River, and now that is all going downstream. So once that recedes, for instance, where Patty is, it just picks up in other places, and Comfort is going to be kind of our next place where we will be concerned about that rise in water. It may already be underway, to be quite honest, and we certainly can see major flooding. That has been the history here with these. We're not getting information with the river gauges because for whatever reason the data has dropped out. But I do think that this will rise to major flood stage, and folks in Comfort, people along the Guadalupe River in general, who maybe they're camping, maybe their RVs nearby, go ahead and move it away. Let's not even take chances here, because just hearing that news that there are fatalities there in Kerr County is absolutely heartbreaking. And we just, again, this is not a time to take a chance here with your life. If you're along the Guadalupe River, and I would say if you're downstream of Center Point, let's think about this. Even all the way down to Candelia. I know you haven't got a lot of rain in Candelia, but that doesn't mean that that wall of water won't eventually make it there. Now, it will take some time. It may take until this afternoon, but it is going to happen, and these low-lying areas are going to flood. And then what is compounding this issue is the fact that we have more rain falling this morning. So you see the heavy rain here across parts of Gillespie County up towards Kimball County, where you got Junction, and then out towards Real County. So there is still a lot of rain that is continuing to come down. Let's look at the bigger picture yet, and you can see what is kind of behind all this. We'll spin in the atmosphere right here. And what happens this time of year is that there is no jet stream or no push to get these things out of here. They'll drift. And that is a drifting area of a lift, okay? So that's ingredient number one. And then you have a ton of moisture from the Pacific, a ton of moisture from the Gulf, and this is the end result. You just get these blinding rains that don't want to stop. And keep in mind, too, that where maybe it's not raining heavily in Kerr County, but downstream some of these creeks, this is all going to funnel into the Guadalupe as well. You know, it comes from all different directions, these watersheds. So that is the kind of the big picture. And as I zoom in here on San Antonio, notice the rain is letting up. And we've been talking about all morning. What about fireworks? Now know that Fredericksburg, Ernie, correct me if I'm wrong, they canceled their fireworks celebration.
They canceled the parade.
The parade.
The fireworks are on hold, or they're on standby, but the parade has been canceled.
Okay, let me be very clear about that. So the fireworks are on hold. The parade, though, has been canceled, and I believe in Kerrville they have canceled their 4th of July festivities. Here in San Antonio, everything's a go. Everything is a go for now. Just know that there still could be some showers around tonight, and that is it's just something you want to be mindful of. Really quickly, I do want to take a look at the currents and just take you outside here in San Antonio. Roads are wet, it's damp. I'm sure a lot of people are sleeping in this morning, but they're also asking, you know, what's the deal today? What can I expect? And quite honestly, I do think we'll see showers for a little while longer here in San Antonio. Now, this is the futurecast, and these models aren't great in these situations, but it does show kind of things quieting down a little bit, and then maybe a few more light showers this evening, although we've got rain chances at 20% around fireworks time, so lower rain chances. Then we get into tonight. And if that low that we showed you earlier is still around, then, oh boy, here we go. We may get some more. Now, I don't know that it will be as bad as it was this morning, but we may get more of these kind of heavy downpours overnight, and that would certainly be something that we would watch very, very closely. And rain chances, we brought those up a little bit overnight tonight, and then going into tomorrow, there still could be some showers and storms around. It is a bit of an unusual pattern for us, at least when you compare it to the last several years. We just haven't had those kind of rain events. Okay, actually, I think we're going to go over to RJ. RJ, you got something going on?
Yeah, guys. So situation getting much dire in terms of some flooded highways along the hill country and obviously in the northwest and west of San Antonio. So here's the updated map from Drive Texas, and that's basically Highway 39. So we've already been reporting over the past 4 or 5 hours or so that Highway 39 completely flooded from Highway 83, which is much further west, all the way up to parts of Hunt and Ingram. But these are some brand new closures that Drive Texas is reporting, and that's going to be FM 1340. So that is west of Hunt. Let's take you a little bit closer here, and this is a pretty big one too. This is going to be Highway 16. So you see it's kind of running obviously north and south. So for all of our folks over in Medina, we're now getting reports of some flooding along Highway 16 in this entire stretch. Again, this is coming down from parts of I-10 all the way down from Kerrville down to Medina as well. So all my folks out there in Medina, if you have anyone out there, or maybe you were spending the holiday weekend out there, just keep in mind that we are seeing more reports of flooding out there as well. FM 2107, which is a little bit off of State Highway 16, reports of flooding there as well. Let's take you back to the Center Point area, because this is a pretty significant stretch of road that's also closed. That's going to be the road right there, rural road, or excuse me, RM 480. And that's going to be for all of our drivers and folks that use that road to get up to parts of Center Point. In this one particular stretch, we also have Highway 27 that is not shut down, but flooded as well along the Guadalupe River. And then that one part right there, that's FM 1350. We are seeing some flooding there as well. But I'm going to get us back on the maps, because obviously we reported a little earlier that, with City of Kerrville hit pretty hard here. And now they are getting reports of some fatalities out here in that area. Earlier this morning, around 6 o'clock this morning, the Kerrville Police Department reported that firefighters were in this one particular stretch. So this is Highway 16 running through the main part of Kerrville as well. So Guadalupe Street completely closed at the moment. Guadalupe Street runs directly parallel with the Guadalupe River, but that one stretch, there was a River Oaks apartment complex which was under a mandatory evacuation. There were high water rescues there. A little bit further down where the river is, there was that RV park, Robles. So again, not too sure exactly where those fatalities occurred, but there were some mandatory evacuation orders in this one particular spot. Highway 16 through the main parts of the city of Kerrville, and again, Guadalupe Street right now completely shut down along the Guadalupe River. Okay, so do we have Alex, Caitlin? Let's go to Jaffney. Okay, so we're going to go to Jaffney with an update from our county and city officials, and also following things on social media. Jaff, what are things looking like?
Everybody's joining the conversation now, okay? And as we mentioned earlier, we've been covering everything in Kerr County, Kerrville, that whole area right there that's dealing with some catastrophic floods. We're going to click on some of these videos right now, but people here in San Antonio, they're seeing the message, because we just dealt with this. And at this time, there are several people who are sending their prayers online. We're posting updates through our Facebook page at KSAT. I do want to say Robert Hernandez coming in saying prayers for those impacted. Maria Elena Carrillo saying praying for everyone. Jack DeForest says that Texas goes from drought to flooding. That is something that is definitely have happened. And then we have another person coming in, Bridget Jones, saying praying for Kerrville. A lot of people are just sending their prayers right now from our area to Kerrville at this time. And again, those who are living in that area, sending us that firsthand view of what you're seeing in your community, giving people an understanding of what they might see when they wake up now that the sun is out and about. So a couple videos that came in from Brianna, 2002. She said this is the pavilion overlooking Lewis Hayes. So right now you got like a shot of this a little bit. It's a little dark, but you can see the water is rising. I want to get to this video right here, though. It is a little bit more light. You see exactly where the water is going, where it's rushing. Again, this is coming from Brianna Steele to Brianna 2002. Flat Rock Park. Again, she just sent this in from Kerrville, giving us an example of what happens. And if you look right there, you would notice there is a log floating on the water, moving at a fast pace. So that shows you that this water is not playing any games. If you guys see this, please get as far away from it as possible. Get to some type of safety ground as they work to this. And then with this being known as a fatal flood, it's kind of devastating, especially on the holidays. So we're going to continue to track this. If you guys do have any videos, pictures, or anything that you can take from a safe perspective, wherever you're located, or what you have taken now that you've gone to safety, send it our way. So then we can show, again, your neighbors what they're looking like. And one more time, we'll give you guys just a look at the power outages in that area. At last check, 8:48, we're still, we got a little good news. At first, it was right up above 5,000 outages. Now we're looking at 4,370. So that's changing throughout the day. That's going to continue to fluctuate. So I'll stay on top of this. We're going to stay on top of the first responders to see exactly what we can learn more about the different staging areas and all that stuff. But again, we do have team coverage across the board out in the field. One of the main people out there right now is our photojournalist, Alex Gomez, who you don't really see on the roadways, but right now he's putting his MMJ hat on, giving us that firsthand view and perspectives from different people he's interacted with. Alex, how's the vibe over there? Like, I know this is one of those situations where it's unpredictable. A lot of people are devastated, but you kind of can see a little resilience coming from those individuals as well.
Yeah, good morning, Japhanie. So the vibe is definitely scary over here, even residents in Center Point. So I've talked to a number of residents here to where one's house was flooded. I mean, she had to take away her pet. She had 12 kittens in her house. Only one survived that she knows of right now. That's the only one that they can find. I talked to another gentleman who said that he actually witnessed a car float away with somebody inside. He was trying to get their attention. He was trying to help out, but I guess he was denied the help. The window was rolled up and that car just submerged in the water. So even here in Center Point, it looks like we might have additional fatalities. I'm trying to talk to DPS right now. He's actually standing a little bit towards my window right now, and he's going to give me some more information. But this is it's a pretty scary situation. Where I'm at right now, what you're looking at is going to be in Center Point, and this is, believe it or not, this is San Antonio Street. I believe it's FM 480 as well, and you can just see the water has reached this town, and it's just going over this bridge right here, again, FM 48. Also, just a heads up as well, a big highway over here, Texas State 27, that's also going to be completely shut down right in the middle of Center Point. So even for me, trying to get back to, let's say, Comfort or even get back to I-10, you actually can't go through Texas State 27 because that road is flooded as well. A lot of water that's reaching Center Point now. Japhanie.
All right. Thanks so much, Alex. Again, please, please, please stay safe. We're going to be coming to you throughout this morning. At this time, we're going out to Patty Santos. She, too, is in the area
thank you.
as we speak. Patty, where are you at? Where are you located? What have you learned?
Hey there, good morning, guys. So we are actually taking a drive in the community here. It's called Arcadia Loop, and I want to show you. This is just incredible. So this is a little road that kind of curves along with the river, but it's kind of on the path. And because the water was moving so fast, it actually went over the land here. All of this was flooded. You could see some of the debris here that is on the road. We are seeing homes that have been moved, mobile homes that have been moved from their from the ground. This is one of the homes here on the side that we're just going to pass here. And there's people right now that are coming in to pick up the pieces. But the amount of debris that is left here, all of this area covered in water at one point, and also some of the furniture and some of the other belongings, even an RV that was moved from its from the ground is here. A lot of the people here, hopefully they were okay. Hopefully they got the warning in time and were able to get out, or maybe their home was on higher ground. But this is a situation that we're seeing here on Arcadia Loop here near just south of Ingram. But this is pretty much what we've been seeing, the devastation that we've been seeing. Homes damaged, either completely damaged, moved, total loss, or they're going to have a lot of flooding to clean up, a lot of materials that are going to have to be thrown out. But this is an area that we could not pass earlier. This is kind of like where everything came in. The power of the river moved everything into this area, which is not usually an area where the water flows through. But we're seeing a lot of people here just kind of coming back, some of them a little shocked to see what the water could do so quickly. We're going to continue to take a look at the scene here and bring you more images this morning. We'll send it back to you guys.
Okay, Patty.
Oh. Okay.
All right, so right now, again, we're following this. Meteorologist Justin Horn is over there. He's keeping track of all of this.
Yes, thank you, Patty, and thank you, Jeff. Yes, so things are starting to wind down now. As far as we're going to bring you more coverage, but as far as the rain here in San Antonio, starting to see some lighter rain. Now we're still watching this very heavy rain that is up around Kerrville, and there is still a lot of flooding when it comes to the river and the Guadalupe River. And this is all, again, going downstream. So Comfort into parts of Kendall County and beyond. This is going to be an all-day thing. So just please be aware of that. We're going to continue our coverage here. We've got people out in the field. Please stay with us as we cover this devastating flooding here in Kerr County.